Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jan Moses back here with one of my biggest videos ever, my team related or in general, here on the Broth Cindy YouTube channel. And that is me making my decision on whether or not I'm going to be getting NBA 2K25 and if I'm going to be playing my team, at least to start the year. We'll have to see. We'll get into it. I know I uploaded a podcast with Harry about 9 days ago or so, covering basically our immediate reactions to all the news that they dropped that day on the Twitch stream and in the playbook update for NBA 2K25 My Team. And I said in that video that I didn't really have a lot of time to read the playbook update. At least Harry had watched the stream and he was trying to keep me updated over text as to the major news and notes from that stream. And then I did get to go through some of the blog with him in our pre-recording Discord chat, but you know, I still went in relatively blind, and so I wanted to take some time after that podcast to read through the blog and then honestly just take like a week or so off to kind of decompress and just get away from gaming. I traveled with my girlfriend for a week, I spent some time with family and friends, and now I'm back to make this video with a more clear mind where I'll be making my decision less based off of emotion and more grounded in reality. At least that's how I'm trying to spin it for this video. With that said, the way this video is going to be going is I'm going to be sharing my pros and I'm going to call it my concerns, not really cons, just things that worry me about NBA 2K25 My Team. I'm then going to be sharing some theories that I have for my team in NBA 2K25 in both the short term and long term. And then lastly, giving my decision on NBA 2K25 My Team. So let's get into it. My first pro obviously has to be the auction house returning, but I'm not in the same boat as people that are going out there on Twitter and YouTube and saying things like, because the auction house is back, NBA 2K25 is going to be one of the best My Teams ever in the history of My Teams. I think that's foolish. You know, I think NBA 2K24 did have some positives. I personally enjoyed the offline gameplay, for example, and I enjoyed the fact that Clutch Time Online was a thing in NBA 2K24. And I don't know if we're going to be able to say either of those things about NBA 2K25 My Team. But saying that NBA 2K24 My Team was an auction house away from being a great My Team is a bit of a stretch, because we don't even know what this auction house is going to look like in NBA 2K25. All that we know about NBA 2K25 My Team is what they've told us about NBA 2K25 My Team. And a lot of the questions that we still have are going to be answered on day one and then later when it comes to My Team. So, you know, just try to have more reasonable expectations if you fall into that group of people that I just described. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't be excited about the game. If you're excited about the game, be excited. That's totally fine. You know, I'm not telling you to not be excited. I'm just telling you to try and have more measured expectations, because it's still a game that's being made by Take-Two. It's still an NBA 2K video game. So with that said, auction house coming back will hopefully mean that we'll see budget cards returning. We did not have budget cards at all in NBA 2K24 My Team, because the cheapest cards in the player market were still pretty expensive and pretty hard to get, even with us getting more MT per game in NBA 2K24 My Team. So we'll have to see about that. Showdown gives off, at least for me, road to the playoffs vibes when it comes to my favorite game mode to play online back in NBA 2K16 and NBA 2K17. I'm hoping that the matchmaking is not skill-based matchmaking and is based off the tier that you're in, like they said. If that's the case, it could be a really fun game mode to play, you know, especially with, again, them taking Clutch Time Online out. Breakout could be fun with them streamlining all the offline game modes into that one offline game mode called Breakout, but they need to make it rewarding and they need to make it easy to access the different paths. If I want to play Clutch Time offline through Breakout, help me get there easily without me having to figure out how that Monopoly style board works. So, and then honestly, the rest of the game of NBA 2K25 outside of My Team looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. My Career looks like it's fun. Being able to grind levels by playing My Career offline is great. I like the Proving Grounds concept. That seems like a lot of fun for you My Career heads. That should be a blast. I'm even kind of intrigued by it, but we'll see again if I get the game. And yeah, my GM. I mean, I was saying in a previous video that even if I get NBA 2K25, I may not play my team. I may want to do my GM content. That was how I first fell in love with these sports games, was by playing franchise mode in Madden and by playing Association in NBA 2K. So we'll see, especially given the lack of time I expect to have in the near future. That may be the route if I get NBA 2K25. I may end up going down. All right. My concerns. My first pro was the auction house coming back. My first concern is the auction house coming back. Just because we're getting the auction house back does not mean we're going to have the same level of freedom that we had in terms of pricing cards, listing cards, and selling cards that we had in NBA 2K23 and in previous years before NBA 2K23 MyTeam. I still think price caps could be a thing, and I think 2K could implement price caps as one of their ways to combat MT selling sites. I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing a lot of MT selling websites making their resurgence on Twitter. And I am not someone who's pro MT selling website. I will never accept any sponsorship from them. I think they're bad for the game's health. And I really hope that they don't thrive in NBA 2K25 MyTeam, whether I get the game and play MyTeam or not. I'm curious what the tax is going to be when you sell a card. You know, it was 10% every single year through NBA 2K23. And then with the player market, the tax jumped up to 60%. I do not think it'll be 60%, but I also think writing off the tax as being 10% is not a given. We'll have to see about that. I'm curious what the zero tolerance policy is going to be. You know, they said when it comes to you know, flipping cards, you know, if you want to go on to the auction house and snipe cards, that is legal. That is okay. One of the 2K people said that it's okay on the NBA 2K Discord, which that's promising. I believe Harry was the person that told me that they've never outright said that sniping was legal in NBA 2K, or at least in previous NBA 2K. So that is promising. But I'm curious for the people that want to, you know, badge out cards on the first day that they come out and then post them onto the auction house. Are they going to get banned because that card goes for a lot of MT? Just, you know, one of the things to think about with this zero tolerance policy, because they were not very clear, and I think 2K did that on purpose. They want to be vague because they want to basically do whatever they want, and then they could always go back to the blog and say, well, we just said zero tolerance policy. We never said clearly what you can and can't do on the auction house and potentially not get banned for, or get banned for, outside of, I guess, now sniping, which they talked about in the Discord, as I mentioned. I'm worried about the lack of MT potential in NBA 2K25 MyTeam. This is the first year where we're not getting MT in the pre-order, and if you guys took a look at the leaked images from the Season 1 Pro Pass, they only mentioned, I think, 45,000 VC. There's no MT that we're at least being told of that we're going to get outright if you get the Pro Pass and grind out levels. So that's a little concerning. It makes me feel like we're going to get less MT, both from playing the game and from, you know, pre-ordering the game, playing, you know, with the Pro Pass, all stuff like that. It makes me kind of concerned about how much MT we're going to be able to get in the game compared to an NBA 2K24. And I know the game mode was different in NBA 2K24 because of the player market. They gave us more MT per game, but they also made the average card cost much more MT. So yes, I'm very well aware of all that stuff, but I am, again, still concerned about how much MT we're going to be able to earn per hour in MyTeam in NBA 2K25. I'm also kind of concerned with the limited game modes. I talked about how Breakout has all the game modes that are offline consolidated into one game. Excuse me. I'm also just in general worried about online game modes. I'm someone that loves to play 5v5 online, and I did not play much Unlimited last year because I didn't like the time commitment of Unlimited. I liked Clutch Time Online, and that looks like the only game mode that's not coming back from NBA 2K24 MyTeam into NBA 2K25. Clutch Time Online probably has the majority of my hours in MyTeam from NBA 2K24, and so naturally losing Clutch Time Online is a big blow. I'm actually pretty upset about that because I think if Clutch Time Online was in the game, maybe I wouldn't have to make this kind of video talking about my decision as to whether or not I'm going to be playing NBA 2K25 and or MyTeam in NBA 2K25. The only 5v5 online game modes that I'm aware of as of right now are Showdown and Salary Cap, which sucks because both of those games are going to take, you know, anywhere from like 2 to 4 times as long as a Clutch Time Online game would. So that really sucks. At least for me, it does. What else really sucks is the return of quit bans. So now I'm really screwed, because if I were to boot up a you know, a Showdown game or a Salary Cap game, and I'm getting the brakes beaten off of me, I can't quit, so I'm gonna get punished for it. And there were plenty of people who went out for Community Day for 2K25, and they talked about getting banned for quitting. I think Killzamoy got banned out of the game he was playing against. I don't know. I think it was HTB maybe. So that's really unfortunate, because again, with no casual 5v5 game modes, if you want to play 5v5, you need to play Showdown or Salary Cap. That game's going to take you anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, and you'll maybe know within the first couple minutes if you have to lock in or not. And I don't want to lock in for 15-20 minutes. That's just really not where I'm at right now at the stage of my gaming career. And so, yeah, the combination of no Clutch Time Online and quit bans being back really do not excite me about playing online in NBA 2K25 MyTeam. Matchmaking time in the Triple Threat Park could be brutal. I know this has been talked about a lot on YouTube and on Twitter and on the MyTeam subreddit. I do not like the whole concept of the Triple Threat Park. We don't need that. I love instant matchmaking, and we are potentially going to lose that in the Triple Threat Park. So that really sucks. The matchmaking for Showdown, I apologize. Matchmaking for Showdown is going to be a very big point for me. If it's skill-based matchmaking, that would really suck. If it's tier-based, that's great, because if I get my team, or if I play NBA 2K25 and I play my team in NBA 2K25, then Showdown is going to be the game mode that I'm going to probably play the most online, because it's 5v5. So anyways, my theories for NBA 2K25 MyTeam. I think we see special inserts back in the game on a more consistent level sooner than we did in NBA 2K24. You know, when you hear the word special inserts, you probably think back to All-Star Weekend, when we had all the Galaxy Opals come out as the players that we wanted, who were nominated to the All-Star teams in the NBA season last year, and we weren't able to get any of them because they were pack exclusive content, right? All those Galaxy Opals, not to mention the 100 overall Kareem Abdul-Jabbar card, which was brutal, obviously, because a lot of people, myself included, were saving up their MT for those players just for us to not be able to get them in any guaranteed format. Before that, though, we did have 2 other special inserts that at least I was able to remember. We had the 35k VC Jeremy Lin card that came out, I think, around Thanksgiving. And then we had the Lunar New Year Pink Diamond Michael Beasley card, who was a really good card, but the only way you could get him, I believe, was either get him through packs, if you got lucky, or spend 125,000 VC to guarantee that you were going to get him. I think we could see more cards like those 2, because both those cards were unsellable cards, meaning you could buy that Michael Beasley for 125,000 VC, or you could buy the Jeremy Lin for 35,000 VC, and if you don't like the cards, well, I don't even think you could quick sell them, and if you could quick sell them, it was going to be only for like a couple thousand MT, and there was no way to auction them. I think those kind of cards, those unsellable cards, are going to be returning in a big way in NBA 2K25, and having these unsellable cards are going to really frustrate the community. We're already probably going to see a limited amount of MT coming in through playing the game and through the Pro Pass and through other ways that you would usually get MT. I think game modes like Clutch Time Offline, when you're playing it through the breakout game mode, instead of you getting 1,000 to 2,000 MT per game like you were getting in NBA 2K24, you'll probably now be seeing, I think, 400 to 500 MT. I'm just totally guessing here. I don't like making claims like this. This is just me purely speculating, and I know I don't like making these kinds of videos in that regard, but I'm just trying to say that I think we're going to see less MT on a per game basis than we did last year. I think we are going to be getting budget cards, as I mentioned at the top of this video, but I still think that a lot of the cards that we want are going to be lock-ins, and that shouldn't come as that much of a surprise, because that's what we got last year to start the year. Guys like LeBron, Giannis, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry were all lock-ins, right? I think Steph Curry was the cooking lock-in. KD was one of those like super lock-ins. We had to lock in a bunch of those perfect build sets for cards like Amethyst Oscar Robertson and Kawhi Leonard. And when you got all of those, I think 4 or 5 Amethyst perfect build cards, then you were able to get Kevin Durant, and I think he ran you for like what, 1.2 million MT. And all those cards that you got along the way were all going to be made unauctionable or unsellable. So I think we see a similar layout to the cards that we want to get down the road here in NBA 2K25 MyTeam, which really sucks. I think we could eventually see, maybe not on day 1, but maybe in, you know, in month 3, month 4, month 5, we could see what we're seeing right now in the player market, or basically what we saw in the player market in I guess what, late February, early March, whenever All-Star Weekend was, where the cards that we didn't really want that much that were available in the player market, we're going to potentially see the same kind of thing in the auction house, where the cards that we don't really care about are going to be the ones that we can auction, which is really going to suck. It's going to make the auction house, again, feel like the player market. I know, again, I'm being very negative, but these are all things that I think are pretty realistic. You can call me negative if you want, but tell me that you can't see 2K doing what I'm saying. I'm just taking what I've seen in MyTeam recently in NBA 2K24 and in previous years, and trying to translate it into what we're reading about in the playbook update, in the blog that we got, and trying to make it make sense potentially for NBA 2K25. Because again, the company that's making MyTeam this year is the same company that made MyTeam for the last 12-13 years. So, you know, I also think, I guess on a somewhat more positive note, I guess, because I can't even say slightly because it's collector level, but I think collector level could actually be not worth it, but it could be better this year, because the only way to have cards contribute towards your collector level is if you basically make the cards unsellable. So if you're willing to make a card unauctionable, then you can have it count towards collector level. So they're going to have to make it worth it, at least you would think, but who knows with Take-Two. Anyways, my decision, finally. It's been really tough because, you know, I have treated NBA 2K22 and NBA 2K24 as potentially being my last MyTeams, even if I haven't come out and said it outright. I have said this before on the channel. Making content in NBA 2K24 was actually a blast, in large part because of you guys, you know, putting out videos and getting the amount of engagement that we would get in the comment section and on streams in the chat when I would, you know, try to put out, you know, tips and tricks videos on, you know, how to make MT, how to complete grinds in the most efficient way possible. Because again, like, I'm not one of these content creators who is in their early 20s. I'm in my early 30s. You know, I have other responsibilities that I have in life that, you know, maybe some of these content creators who are in their early 20s don't really have to worry about, you know, and that's great. I wish I could be, you know, back in my NBA 2K 13, 14, 15 days where I was in my early 20s and I was able to have, you know, less things to worry about in life. But unfortunately, that's not the case for me right now. And that's fine, you know, like, adulthood's not all that bad, but there definitely are more things that I have to deal with in life that are going to affect my, you know, my time playing the game going forward. You know, I'm moving in with my girlfriend next month, actually, and that's very exciting. That's also going to really affect my day-to-day a lot, you know, and there's going to be a lot that I'm going to have to learn about that whole process. You know, I've never lived with someone that wasn't a roommate before, you know, so that's going to be a whole different process. I'm obviously very excited. She's excited. That alone really has been making me think a lot about how I want to not just approach my decision for getting NBA 2K25, but just gaming as a whole. How is that going to change going forward? And honestly, I don't know. You know, that's going to be something that I'm going to have to figure out on the fly once October comes. But when it comes to NBA 2K25, you know, they made a really big emphasis when it comes to MyTeam in the early days with these free agents, and they've reworked free agents now to have longer contracts, and I kind of want to take a page out of their book, and I want to give NBA 2K25 a contract, because again, there's a lot to like about the game as a whole, not just with MyTeam, and I do want to give them credit because they have reskinned MyTeam a lot. It does look on paper to be a pretty different game mode. You know, they have all these different game modes within MyTeam now, with Breakout and Showdown, and even though I don't really care for it, the Triple Threat Park, And I am curious to see how this auction house is going to run. And so I am going to be coming back to play NBA 2K25 for sure. When it comes to my team, however, I'm going to be giving it basically like, you know, in the NBA they have 10-day contracts, right, for free agents that you want to pick up and not have their salary affect your salary cap. I'm going to be doing the same kind of thing for NBA 2K25 my team. You know, the game drops this upcoming Wednesday. I'm actually off from work Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I may have to, funny enough, go to jury duty, which is so funny and so random. But anyways, as of right now, I am scheduled to be off from work Wednesday, September the 4th through Friday, September 6th. And I plan on pre-ordering the game and streaming and creating content in general on NBA 2K25 my team for those 3 days. I'm going to be basically giving my team the old college try again, and I want to see what does the game mode look like. What did they not mention in the blog that we're going to be able to see when we boot up the game for the first time at 8 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, September the 4th. What does the auction house look like? I want to be able to answer all those questions for you guys, because I'm sure there are plenty of people who are not getting the game on day one, and maybe you're in a similar boat as I am, where you're trying to decide, you know, do you want or do I want to get the game or not, right? Like for me, it's not a matter of, oh, you know, the game is, you know, what is it, $70 to pre-order, and I don't want to spend $70 on the game. I'm not really as worried about that. I'm more so worried about, like, if I get this game, is it a game that's going to be worth committing my time to? And that's why I want to give it a trial period, because I don't know the answer to that. And the game that we see, you know, in the first week is going to be different than the game we see at the end of this month. Could be different than the game that we see at the end of the year, and so on. But I want to at least give it a shot and see what it looks like, because again, I enjoy making content in NBA 2K24 in a year where a lot of people, a lot of content creators left the game, and the people that didn't leave the game were still pretty down on the game mode. I want to at least give it a shot, and if I like the game mode after the first 3 days, then I'll continue to play the game, and I'll keep making content on it through the month of September. Because again, when October rolls around, there's probably going to be a bit of a lull in content creation, at least in terms of my team content creation here on Broth Cindy, because I'm going to be moving in, and I'm going to be figuring out, my internet situation over there, how much time I'm going to dedicate to gaming, and stuff like that, with me living with my girlfriend, you know, which I really want to focus on that whole aspect too. The gaming is going to come secondary or tertiary or whatever. It's going to come much further down on the list once I've moved in. But if I'm really enjoying NBA 2K25 my team, I will find a way to at least carve out some form of content creation for you guys moving forward. But I just wanted to say in this video that I am going to be giving NBA 2K25 my team a chance. But my leash on the game is going to be much shorter than it ever has been because of what we had to deal with in NBA 2K24. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys on my NBA 2K25 my team journey, because it may not be a very long one. Again, I may bail on it early and go play my GM. I may bail on it after a month and go play my GM. I don't know. So regardless of how long the ride is going to be, I hope to see all of you guys that are watching this video back there with me, and I'll be looking to hopefully help you guys maximize your time playing NBA 2K25 my team. Let's try to make it a fun week, a fun couple of weeks, a fun month, maybe a fun year, who knows. But as long as I'm playing my team, I'm going to try to make it as fun of an experience for you guys here on the Broth Cindy channel. I appreciate all of you guys for all your support in NBA 2K24 my team, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys later on this week, I guess. So yeah, until next time, hope you guys are having a great Labor Day weekend if you do celebrate. And until next time, I'll see you later.